Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of Open Book with the Gail Borden Library, brought to you by KCT Credit Union, searching for a financial partner that truly has your best interest at heart. Well, KCT Credit Union is where you'll find and who you need. They're more than just a bank. They're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning profits go back to you in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. Become a part of KCT, where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit kctcu.org. Each account insured up to $250,000 by member's choice. This institution is not federally insured. And welcome to our very first episode of the Gail Borden Library's Open Book. We call it Open Book, which actually came to us originally from our friends at KCT. I think she's even will give her the hats off because it was such a great story and actually line behind it in naming it. But it is perfect because I can't think of anybody else that would be better defined for a show called Open Book than the Gail Borden Library. So today I'm going to hand it over. We're going to be welcoming Sadia Ahmed. She is the Public Programs Manager. And I'll let you do your next guest introduction because it is your team. So take it away, Sadia. What is happening? And first of all, welcome. Let's say that first and foremost. Welcome to the Gail Borden Library's Open Book.
Thank you, Leah. Okay. Well, first of all, I do want to thank KCT for sponsoring this program for us, and also want to thank WRMN for hosting it. This is a wonderful platform for us to let the community know about what's happening at Gail Borden Public Library. And like Leah said, Open Book at Gail Borden Public Library. So we hope to bring more information to you out there in the public and get you going with coming to the library and take advantage of all the services and programs we have to offer. I do want to mention we have some programs coming up. And again, so this is the first day we're doing this. And we will hopefully continue every Monday at 1 o'clock. So stay tuned for upcoming events. And if for those who don't know, we are celebrating our 150th anniversary this year. So that is a big deal for us. And we will be celebrating with many events and programs. So stay tuned for that also. With me, I have Sarah Vetter, who is the Community Connections coordinator and on the Community Connections team. So I'm going to let Sarah take over and go over some programs that are coming up.
All right. Thank you, Sadia. Thank you, Leah, for having us. We're super excited about this opportunity. And yeah, I'm part of the community engagement team with my lovely and talented boss, Tish Calamer, who will be joining us in an upcoming episode. And Tish, if you're watching, hey, gotta give her a shout out. So yes, we've been celebrating in May Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We've had one program already that was a wonderful program on classical Indian dance called Kathak. And upcoming, we have a film screening that's actually this week. It's Thursday, May 16th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the Meadows Community Rooms at the main library. And it's you're all invited. It's an Oscar-nominated film. And it focuses, it's called The Betrayal Narracoon. And it focuses on a family's flight from Laos after the United States secret war on Laos and the difficulty for the family of assimilating into American life. It should be a great film, and I hope that you will join us for that. Again, this Thursday, May 16th, 6:30 p.m.
Can I ask, how is it that you find out about a lot of these? You know, because I always wonder, how do people reach out to you? Do you search them out? How do you find these great programs? Because they can't just land in your lap. There's got to be people working to find them.
Only if we're lucky do they fall in our lap, which sometimes they do. But we work a lot with the Multicultural Education Group of Elgin, and they often help us with our Asian American Pacific Islander Month program offerings. And that's what happened with this, because our friend Elgin, who we work closely with, his friend actually made this film. His friend's in New York now, but Elgin is the one who pointed out the availability of this. So we thought, oh, that'll be a great way to build a program. And then we will have question and answer afterwards. And yeah, it should be very, very interesting. Another program I want to mention is it's also not only Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, it's Mental Health Awareness Month in May. And with that, we have a very special exhibit going on the second floor of the library, and it's called Awakenings, the Healing Power of Creativity. And this Friday from 3:30 to 5, we're doing an art reception where everybody can come and check out the art that we have hung up. First, I should say Awakenings is a grassroots organization. It's right here in Elgin. A lot of people don't know about it. It's on Division Street in the professional building. And they have an art studio, and they welcome people to come create, and specifically people who are dealing with mental health issues. So they have painters, they have storytellers and poets, musicians. They come and play music, and we're going to have a little taste of all those things.
They have
at our
long
reception.
said that kind of therapy, the arts and music, are key
Yes.
in helping with mental health and anybody with injury, brain injury, anything like that.
You're so right, Leah. That's absolutely true. And it's open to the public. This reception will have light refreshments too, storytelling, music, and of course to check out the art that we have on display on
Very
the second
exciting.
floor. So again, Friday, May 17th, 3:30 to 5, and that's upstairs in our Elgin room in the main library.
Do any of these have to be registered for, or let's just say, do I have to let somebody know if I'm going to come, or is it just open house? Come see it. We'd love to have you.
Thank you for saying that. We would appreciate it if people registered, just so we know about how many to expect. So you can find the registration links on our website.
Wonderful. You know, when you're the host of an event like that, you'd like to know, especially when you said refreshments and things will be available.
How many cookies do we need to buy?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's it. Yes. So those are a couple of things that I have coming up this week.
And all things overall, you've been talking a little bit about the anniversary because, you know, we've been talking and bragging about our 75th. I always say you guys are twice as cool because the Gail Borden Library is celebrating their 150th anniversary. So, Sada, if you want to just share some of that with our audience members who may have been hiding under a rock and do not know that.
Sure, I know. It's like, how could you not know?
Yes.
So March 19th was the actual date of our anniversary, and we did have an open house or an event that day. It was planned. We gave out cupcakes. So that is actually done and gone, but we are going to be having a fair outdoor event June 8th, which next week we'll be talking more about.
Mark your
So
calendars.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Next week, be here and get more information. It'll be an exciting event. It's going to be huge. It's going to be outdoors. And let's all pray the weather is going to be nice.
That's what a lot of it will depend on, right?
No rain, no
Sunny
heat.
skies, low humidity. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, that's hard to have a backup when you have to worry. When you start watching the weather week before, and these days everything changes in about 2 seconds anyway, so that could be one way one day and one way another.
Yes.
So that's filling up May, and I know, how many do you usually have how many events do you usually have each week? Like I know that we have on the calendar of things for May that are scheduled for now, but it seems like there's a lot of team that's got to go behind those efforts.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. There's like different departments. So we have adult programs, we have children programs. So we have a whole department that does the kids programs, family events. So it's always pretty full. And we've got at least a few programs every day. So, you know, if you look at our newsletter, you can see, like Leah said, you know, you saw all the events and the newsletter. So
Right.
definitely check that out. Most events, yes, like we said, it's nice to have people register, but it's not required, but it's just nice to have so that we kind of are, you know, can plan accordingly.
Right.
And again, with the 150th, we're planning more throughout the year, so just have to stay tuned.
And I just want to share this really quickly. If you guys can see, this is what initiated the whole Gail Borden Library's open book. This is what initiated open book. And I'm sure there's many of you, if you don't mind me just inserting this here, that see this in your mail every week or every other
Every
month,
month.
right?
Every 2 months.
Every bi-monthly, yeah,
Yes.
every 2 months.
Yes.
So when I'm sure you see this and you don't realize, one day I just sat down and I started thumbing through it. You know, I just started looking and I thought, I look at the back, I look at the front. I think we all get stuck in that trap. But when you really start looking at what's in the sandwich here, it's beautiful stories. There's events, there's activities, there's music, there's something to keep people busy every single day. And that's almost the purpose behind having open book is to show you if you open that book, what you're going to find, because there's activities going on all the time. Now,
Yes.
I know we talked about the 16th and the 17th, and then I think what else you have on the docket that's going to be planned for May?
Oh,
Yes, I do want to mention a few other programs we've got coming up, which should be good. So please do take advantage if you can. On May 23rd at 6:30 p.m., we have Jerry Turnquist, and I'm assuming a lot of you know him. He's a very well-known person here in Elgin. He's a historian, and he will be giving a presentation. Well, we're going to have a trivia program, actually, so you can actually come and participate in how much history knowledge you have of the library and of Elgin.
You had half the listeners sit up in their chair going, huh?
Hey, I know
History. Yeah.
But it's a fun event. It's, it's nothing that you have to study for or anything. It's just going to be a fun event. So please do try and join us. It'll be on CrowdPer if anyone knows about that. It's a software that runs trivia programs or games. Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Let's go see what is that.
Yep, I'm not sure. I think that's outside with the building. I don't know. But you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a quick break, because I don't know if this is just in our audio or if it's something that somebody else can hear, or which way it's going. Sonar, you got that? All right, we can continue on. I just saw somebody come running in there. So if so, it sounds like it's got nothing to do with us here.
And
so
I don't
we're
hear
good.
it anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
good.
it'd be good.
It's a welcome. That's the big welcome. Those were all the balloons that just went off and the cannons that shut off. Just
I
saying,
see
you know
'em.
what?
Oh my God,
I
they're
know.
fabulous. They're just outside
the window.
Fireworks go on.
But you know what? That's the purpose of live radio. That's what happens with live radio. That's what we have. Okay, so, and again, you were mentioning a little bit about Jerry Turnquist. A lot of our listeners might be familiar with Jerry Turnquist because Jerry is one of the duo that does Elgin 100 Years. And that airs quite frequently here on WRMN. So you might know that name, not really sure how. It's the voice that you hear. So you've got the great person that's actually going to be doing and heading up that trivia. Now, he talks a little bit about not only the history here, and I think because he comes at it from from the History Museum, and has a lot of that knowledge. There's nothing better than just taking a step in somewhere and learning about this. You will, I've always been amazed at when especially when I moved down here, and coming to work here, people who have been in the area a long time would actually say, okay, that used to be this. This used to be this. There was a theater downtown, and you try and envision that. And then that's what get everybody else saying, oh yeah, you know what? Do you remember that men's store that was next door to it? And that's what gets people talking. That's why things like this are so much fun.
Because they evoke all the memories from the past.
Yeah, I was like, from memories and conversation and storytelling like we're talking about today, that's it. That's what brings everything back to the forefront. And everybody just adds in one more element. And now you've got a huge conversation going with a large group of friends. So, so I think that's pretty cool. And that's on what date, Sadia?
So that is Thursday, May 23rd, coming up next week.
And what time is that?
6:30 p.m.
Got it.
So, and Jerry's done quite a few programs for the library. He just has such a wealth of knowledge about our history, and it's just a fun way of learning Elgin's history. It's great. And he has also served on the board of Gail Borden Public Library and at the History Museum also. So, just a great background, a lot of knowledge. So. He's got a good following too. People know that he knows his stuff, and they come out for him. And we want more people to join in on that.
How many people came to the first program he did on the history?
That was quite a few. We get hundreds of people sign up actually for his program. So he's a great speaker.
Go ahead.
All right. So
that was just me. That was only me.
okay. And then we have another program coming up the following week on May 28th, Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. We're going to have the Laura Davidson Sears Art Gallery at the Elgin Academy. It's 100 years it's celebrating. So Ann Chipman, for those who don't know, she's the daughter of Dean Chipman, director of the Sears Art Gallery at Elgin Academy for 23 years, from 1940 to 1963. She has documented the story of the art galleries, but specifically focusing on the 40s, 50s, and 1960s. She's a retired adult educator and education consultant. She's also an alumni of the Elgin Academy. So she's going to be talking about the arts building at the Elgin Academy. So that'll be interesting too. So if you
Yeah.
can, join us for that, 6:30 p.m., May 28th, Tuesday.
And then the very next day, did you have more on that? Or-
Yes, that.
Oh, sorry.
I have one more that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connor, who maybe some of you saw on WRMN like last month, was it, Leah?
It was last month. We ended up having him in studio, and it's going to be a fun event. And again, another one to mark your calendars on. And
Lot
so
of
he's going to be coming to you, and he actually segued a little bit to that during our interview. So what can we expect then?
So he will be talking about his book, Glimpses of, I'm sorry. Glimpses into Elgin history through archived family letters. So he wrote a book from just the letters from his family talking and then just putting information together about.
I think it's like 2 floors above grief.
Yes, 2 floors above grief is the book. Yes, and the O'Connor Funeral Home, where he used to live. His family owned that home. So it'll be interesting. He'll come with his books and he'll do a book signing, and we also have the book available at the library if you want to check it out.
Perfect.
I will say one cool thing about that is anybody who is a big fan of 6 Feet Under. Do you remember that show, 6 Feet
do,
Under?
yes.
We watched it. It was fantastic. I asked him about that because that's what his book reminded me of. It was, it talks about a family who lived in a funeral home and how everyday occurrences might to us be like, oh my goodness. But it was life and how everything took on and the stories that happened and the funny things that happened. And from the women in the family, the entrepreneurship that they did, designing things, creating things, patenting things, the story behind it. And it was actually 2 families that lived there. So to learn a little bit more about that, but hear it, even if you're big fans of, like I said, 6 Feet Under, talk in there, get in it, because it really is a cool read. Very cool. And the fact that you've got him in is an exciting thing.
Yes.
And I'll be recording it. So hopefully you can come in person, but if you can't, you can still see the program on our library YouTube channel.
And
the next couple
what
days
is, tell us how we can find that. Do we just go to Gail Borden Library real
I was
quickly?
going to say
shoot that
that's
info.
a good segue too. I want to let people know that now we have programs that have been recorded. So in case you happen to miss it, on our website, gailborn.info, you can go to recorded programs. It's right in the middle there section on the tab. Do you have that up by any chance?
I will, yep.
And then they can just click on that, and we have many programs there that are by category. So just click on a category that interests you, like history, health and wellness, and you can take advantage of the programs you've had in the past and get a lot of good information.
I'm glad you made a point of mentioning that because it is a great resource that we have. And I want to mention one more program offering that we have for Asian American Pacific Islander Month, and that is the day before 2 Floors Above Grief.
Oh, yeah, to 29th.
On the 30th. So it's a program on how to make your own spring rolls. And it's Wednesday, May 29th, 6:30 to 7:30 in the Meadows Rooms, right? And it will be led by the owner of our cafe. Many of you may know we have a cafe in the library, and Dong Chai is the owner of that cafe, and she'll be also our program leader for how to make your own spring rolls. And I'll have to tell you, Sadia, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, everyone's going to get a chance to roll up their own spring roll and eat it.
And eat it and sample it. I bought the rice paper to make the spring rolls. I haven't attempted yet, so I think I'll see the lesson first. And then
But definitely register for that since it is higher.
That one's filling up too, isn't it?
That is filling up, so do try and register if you can make it.
Right.
And so I'm going to bring Gail Borden Library up here right from the very beginning. If you want to check out the public library, the website is Gail Borden. Let me put this up there. What's the official website? Is Gail?
Gordon.info.
Yep, is the best way to do it. So gailborden.info. If you're going to it, we'll bring it up on my page here. We're going to go to a real quick commercial break. I want to remind you, you're listening to WRMN. It's Open Book with our good friends, Sadia and Sarah joining us in studio. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more after this.
Hey everybody, this is Marky B from the First Shift Morning Show, inviting you to join us for a live broadcast from The Wall That Heals, a 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, along with a mobile education center, Friday, May 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Randall Oaks Park in West Dundee. The Wall That Heals honors the more than 3 million Americans who served in the U.S. Armed Forces in the Vietnam War, and it bears the names of the 58,281 men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. Our live broadcast that day is brought to you by True Patriots Care, a nonprofit organization dedicated to recognizing and supporting those who have served their communities as first responders and as members of the armed services. It's a live broadcast from the Wall That Heals in West Dundee, Friday, May 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410, and on YouTube at WRMN Radio.
Attention all Schaumburg Boomers fans. Attention all Schaumburg Boomers fans. Come out for a great night of baseball at Wintrust Field at 1999 Spring and Scoot Road in Schaumburg, Illinois. Opening day is May 13th at 6:30 p.m. versus the Tri-City Valley Cats for post-game fireworks at the home opener. There will also be a giveaway of the 2024 Magnet schedule by State Farm, Anthony DeGrotto Agency. On May 14th, it's $1 hot dog night.
Renata's Old Salem Cafe is now Renata's German Restaurant, with old family recipes for delicious Bavarian dinners. Renata's is also known for breakfast and lunch. Renata's German Restaurant has fresh baked German pastries. For a hearty breakfast, try Renata's for pancakes, skillets, and more. They've also set the standard for catering excellence. Try Renata's German Restaurant off Irving Park, west of Wise Road in Hanover Park. Visit renatasgermanrestaurant.com.
America's First Responders Fest, Saturday, September 7th at Panton Mill Park, South Elgin, Illinois. Join us Saturday, September 7th for America's First Responders Fest. The South Elgin event will pay tribute to veterans and all first responders. This year's event includes Rapid Response 5K and Fun Run starting at 10 a.m. The festival hours are 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll have first responder stage tributes. There will be a classic car show from JP Car Shows. Live bands featuring Deacon Frost, Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones, Jimmy Nick, and the Junkyard Groove. We'll broadcast live right here on WRMN 1410 and at WRMN Radio on YouTube. There will be food and beverage trucks, kids' activities, and market-style vendor booths. For more information and updates leading up to the event, please visit afrfest.org. Again, that's Saturday, September 7th. For more information, visit afrfest.org. That's America's First Responders Fest, Saturday, September 7th. At Panton Mill Park, South Elgin, Illinois.
Michael Brown, former Undersecretary of Homeland Security and Director of FEMA, is your new full-time host of The Weekend, which airs every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on WRMN. Each week on the popular 3-hour program, Brown offers listeners a fresh take on the weekend talk with his provocative insights into current events, politics, and culture. So late in the day on Saturday, make it a point to catch The Weekend with Michael Brown right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
We are Lions International, the world's largest service organization. We are volunteers committed to strengthening our communities and supporting those in need, one act of kindness at a time. For more than a century, Lions have been serving a world in need, right here in our community and around the world. Lions International makes the impossible possible. This is your invitation to join us, because the only thing missing from our mission to make a difference is you. Visit lionsclub.org to find a local Lions Club near you.
If you are 50 years and older, you are welcome to join Elgin State Bank's sponsored movie days at Elgin Marcus Theater. It will always be on the second Thursday of each month. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. At 9 a.m., you will hear a very brief message from Sherry Aschenbrenner about upcoming senior events, and movies will begin at approximately 9:30 a.m. Coffee and a donut is complimentary. You can always call the movie theater hotline number of 847-888-7976 to find out what movies are playing each month. The cost is $3 if you are a member of Elgin State Bank, meaning you have an account there, and $5 if you are a non-member. And for more senior information, catch Sherry's Senior Showcase on the third Tuesday of every month at 9:15 a.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Ever take your car through the auto emissions lane only to experience the sinking feeling that your car has failed the test? Don't fret. Let Meineke at 376 Sundown in South Elgin fix the problem for you. Meineke's mechanics will determine the exact problem with your vehicle and suggest necessary repairs with Meineke's diagnostic service. Pass that test with help from the trained Meineke technicians. Call today for your appointment. 847-888-9644. That's 847-888-9644. Ever take your car through the auto emissions lane only to experience the sinking feeling that your car has failed the test? Don't fret. Let Meineke at 376 Sundown in South Elgin fix the problem for you. Meineke's mechanics will determine the exact problem with your vehicle and suggest necessary repairs with Meineke's diagnostic service. Pass that test with help from the trained Meineke technicians. Call today for your appointment. 847-888-9644. That's 847-888-9644.
And welcome back to Open Book with the Gail Borden Library, brought to you by KCT Credit Union. Searching for a financial partner that truly has your best interest at heart? Join the KCT Credit Union, where they're more than just a bank. They're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning that profits go back to the owner, that's you, in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. Become a part of KCT, where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit kctcu.org. Each account insured at $250,000, up to that by member's choice. This institution is not federally insured. And welcome back to Open Book, my friends. We have got our good friends, Miss Sadia and Sarah. Now, we introduced them in our first segment of the show. You can actually join Open Book once a week, every Monday from 1 until 2. We are going to be talking about what's happening at the Gail Borden Library. And I said this whole thing started out because of this little ditty. Little did we know that how much this could change the vast of WRMN's broadcast on Monday afternoons. But when you find out how much information is actually in here to learn, and there's fun things, there's even little puzzles, there's something that is an activator, I'm going to call it, in any house with kids, adults, children, all ages from, 2 to 200. It doesn't really matter. You'll be able to enjoy something in this book. And we welcome again back Miss Sadia as well as Miss Sarah. Sadia, of course, is the public programs manager at Gail Borden Library, and Sarah Vetter is the community engagement team. We're going to call it that. Sum it up a little bit. But we had the opportunity in the first segment to talk about what to expect so far as we're making our way through the month. And I do know if we go to the different programs, you can go to the website. It's Gail Borden Info. So it's gailborden.info. So let me get that to you straight, gailborden.info. And if you do that, I'm going to put it up on the page here real quickly so you can see it, because I want you to understand that when you do this, and you can check it out, the Gail Borden information here, you'll be able to see the programs. And if you go to events and classes, and you can check out the books and more, you can check out services and supports. One of the big pieces of the puzzle that brought it to our attention is because we realized how many things are taking place at Gail Borden Library that I just, as I've been here for a decade, and I'm familiar with the library. I've been there multiple times, but just did not know all of the services that they offered. So what I said, and kind of initiated a call to you, Ms. Sadia, and talking about the different events and activities. So we talked about several of them in the first segment of the show. So let's do a little brief recap, just in case somebody was not planning on hearing this for the first time and wants to figure out what they may have missed if they're just tuning in. I'll let it go for you first, Ms. Sadia, and tell us a little bit about the 150th anniversary of the library.
Yes, so as Leah said, we're celebrating 150 years for the library, and we're excited. March 19th was the exact date that we turned 150, and we have been having programs ever since and events. Stay tuned for the summer event, would be June 8th. We'll talk more about it next week, so stay tuned next week. And again, we have programs around the 150th also, starting with, actually, we have one on May 23rd with Jerry Turnquist, who will be doing a trivia program on Elgin history and the library. So please come by and join us for a trivia contest, and you will have a chance to win a prize. But nothing, you don't have to be, you don't have to participate. Just come and learn about it too if you don't want to. But it'll be fun. So please try and join us. If you can, please register. That would be great. And then we have another program on the Sears Art Gallery at the Elgin Academy, which is celebrating 100 years with Ann Chipman. And then we have, let's see, what else? The last one we have is
The glimpses into Elgin history?
Yes, with
Yes.
Kevin O'Connor. So, and some of you may have seen him last month here on WRMN with the relationship with his book. Two
Floors
stories.
above
I'm sorry,
grave.
yes.
That's what because you know what, I think we want to automatically just get into how cool it is because it's all about letters and family letters. And he actually gathered, you know how we all have one person in the family that is, oh, you know, you heard something about your great grandparents, send that information to so and so. You found a picture when somebody passed away, you found an album, and you know, there's always one
The
person
family
in every
historian.
family. That's it
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he ended up becoming the family historian. So he had asked for all those letters to go, and they're not in any chronological order, but it helps tell the story of their 2 floors above grief. So,
It's very interesting information, yeah. So it's fun to, come and
well, the name makes it sound kind of like it's a,
yes,
you
a
know,
grim-
like it's, like it's all about loss and things like that, and it's so
Depressing.
much not.
It's
Yeah.
not.
There's
Exactly.
so much more. There's humor. It's just an engaging story.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait to see it.
Okay, and then Miss Sarah, you brought up the awakenings and the betrayal. So let's talk first of all on the 16th. That's Thursday at 6:30. You're going to be doing a film screening of the Narraccoon. Is that what it is?
Narraccoon, the betrayal. That's right, Leah. We're celebrating several big events in May. One is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and the second is Mental Health Awareness Month. First, with the Asian Pacific, we had one program we did already that was on classical Indian dance that was beautiful and colorful, and we're working to get that up on our YouTube page that we mentioned earlier. But the one upcoming this week that Leah referenced is on Thursday, May 16th. It is in our Meadows community rooms at the main library, and it's called The Betrayal Narraccoon. And it's an Oscar-nominated film that came to us through our contacts with the Multicultural Education Group here in Elgin. And what it's about is a family's flight to the U.S. after the United States secret war in Laos and how they assimilated to America after coming here. And it wasn't always easy, but I know it's a hopeful story, and at the end, they're grateful to be here. So come watch that with us this Thursday, 6:30 in Meadows Rooms. And then one other event that's a little later in the month is Wednesday, May 29th, 6:30 to 7:30. And that's how to make spring rolls with our cafe owner, Dong Chai. And I am ready for that. It's lunchtime, so I'm getting hungry already, and I'm very eager to learn how to make those. Then moving on to actually later this week, Friday, May 17th, we're doing an art reception. We have an art exhibit featuring art that has been created by people with mental health issues. And that is on display on our second floor of the library right now. So we're doing a reception to honor the artists and to celebrate the art. And this group, Awakenings, is right here in Elgin. And their whole focus, it's a grassroots organization designed to showcase the creative arts of all people dealing with any kind of mental health issue. So this particular event, 3:30 to 5 on Friday in the Elgin Room upstairs, will feature art, music, and stories, spoken word, poetry. And as Liam, as you mentioned earlier, you're right that the arts can be very important in the healing process. And this exhibit, in fact, is called Awakenings, the Healing Power of Creativity.
Love that. It's awesome.
The public's invited to come, light refreshments, meet some of the artists, enjoy the art, music, poetry, and short stories.
And again, you can go to gailborden.info to register. Yeah, they ask that if you can register for it. Of course, it's open to the public, but it does help if you get a little bit of a count of who might be there and how many are in attendance.
Thank you for saying that.
So I just want to mention with our programming at the library, we do try to every month recognize that there's always something in that month that we are wanting to be aware of. So like mental health awareness. Then we have Black History Month in February. Throughout the year, there's something every month. So we like to try and tie in programming with that so so that let people aware for the education.
Yeah, and to commemorate and celebrate.
You know, and only be a radio station because we are an information station, right? That's really what equivalent almost. It's a kind of a cousin to the library because it's all about giving and providing information. If there are people that, if you have a special event, you said sometimes it falls in your lap, but most often you have to go and search it. Do you ever shoot out if somebody comes to you saying, okay, I do know that they're going to be celebrating this month. Would you guys be open to having such and such? Can people call there to see if there's something you might want to focus on?
Definitely, if people have an idea in mind and they would like to have this program at the library, we actually have on our website a program proposal form. So we just
Yay.
yes. So it's from the main page. If you go to contact us, it takes you to all our online forms, and there is actually a form out there for program proposals. So anyone who has some knowledge on a particular topic would like to come and share that with the community and have it be done as a library program, we are always open to that.
I love that
we're all
idea.
about educating the public and the community.
Yeah,
So.
the library can be thought of as the people's university where you can come and learn and grow and be engaged and be entertained. It's all there for you, all the info and resources.
Amen to that. And I think for organizations out there too, there's so much going on all the time. And again, use it as a reference. This is put out every other month. And for example, I think you just did we had the up till June. The next one, the current one is May and June, right?
May and June is the current one. We're working on July, August.
And the other thing I just want to mention is they actually set up not only story times and reasons for that, but they also they categorize it sometimes by the age group. So let's say if you're in a hurry and you just want to find out what's happening, maybe you're not sure what to do with your kids. And I know this is going to be picking up a lot in the summertime, which is we'll be talking about this summer. But that's the one thing that parents look at is, oh my goodness, my kids are, day 2 of summer break, they're bored, right?
I'm pulling my hair out as a
Most
parent,
of them are, yeah.
Looking hungry for stuff to do.
Right. And I think knowing that all of the families that come to Gail Borden Library and the offshoots of Gail Borden Library, there's how many different, so we've got the main one right here in Elgin.
Yep. The Raco branch that's over off of Randall and Bose by Nick's Pizza. And then the South Elgin branch is the newest one that will be undergoing a big remodeling soon too.
And also host another KCT credit union. So we understand why this was got such a great partnership to put together, and we're happy to have that on board. So,
Absolutely.
All right, so those are some of the programs. And again, I'm popping it up on our website just briefly here because I want to make sure I get it centered so you can put it up. But I am going to put it down in our comment section on how it is that you can go and get the direct links to these programs that they're talking about. So whereas we might not be able to have that screenshot right today, again, it's our inaugural show, so we're getting all of our kinks out. We found out that we have some little noise issue outside because, we have the studio and you guys can see how much traffic goes by here, right?
Yeah, we're doing our best. We're having fun.
Yep, we're doing good. And so anyway, we are here with Open Book. It is our very first, like I said, inaugural episode. Open Book is coming to you from the Gail Borden Public Library. And we have Sadia and Miss Sarah joining us in studio. Now, we got to talking a little bit about this. How does it work with your groups, if you don't mind me asking? Because this is a lot to put together. I'm surprised. This to me would be like a every 6 months kind of book, let alone putting it out every 2.
2 months, yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of great organizations, subcommittees that you have. Obviously, everybody's got a different title or is a member of a certain group. Does that get hard to kind of page all this together, if you don't mind me asking? Because I think that's like throwing a lot of information or always supplying it, right?
I mean, I think it is pretty good, well organized that each department does their programs. They put into a calendar, and then we have our public relations and development team that works on the newsletter, and they pull all that information that we put in, and they coordinate that. So we have a graphic design team and all that that work on that.
It's a beautiful color booklet, and I'll be telling you right now, do not be afraid to go inside because even they have categories like technology. I'm just showing you this right now. They have things for adults. They have things for youth and teens. All of it has got a little segment that's titled right on that page. So when I'm looking at the kids a little bit more, I like looking into it a little bit deeper for adults and some of the virtual author talks and things that have. You said pretty much every day something is going on.
Pretty
over
much
at
you've
Gail
got
Borden
something,
Library.
yep.
Yeah.
And the reading log is in there too. The summer reading
Summer
log
reading has
is in
kicked
this
off,
one.
and stay tuned next
There it
week. We'll be
is.
talking about it.
Put it up on the
Yeah,
right
that's a
side here.
preview for next week. And we also have a bunch of programs in Spanish that would be listed in the newsletter as well. And
We have a whole section, for
I love it. For people who have, for Spanish-speaking forward family house and households, that's going to be helping quite a bit too. I've seen that in here. Just in the whole center segment, there's a part to it. But the one thing I just have to say is it's a hats off. This is a hats off to you guys because I'm impressed. It did from the first moment I opened it up, and I always just kind of saw it, and I said, okay, yeah, that's
Right.
nice. But, well, this is what brought it up, to be honest, is that my kids are grown. Right. And I have grandkids now. So we're getting back into that. But I think me, as long as, and probably as a lot of other adults out there, we are so quick to go to the internet if we want to find out information. It makes you forget how many services and things are offered at the library. And we're talking about just some of these. Each episode, you'll find out about some timely issues that are going to be coming to the table and reminding you of events and activities that are taking place. But as they're celebrating their 150th anniversary, there's so many other tools and accesses that you have that folks are just not aware of.
I love that you mentioned, Leah, that you went to the library a lot when your kids were small, as I did, as a lot of us did. And then I think we fall away from it sometimes. But the great thing about the public library is you can rediscover it anytime. And I love just being in the building. We get world-class exhibits, all these programs, some of which we're talking about today and we'll continue to talk about in this program. But just come back. If you've been gone for a while, we welcome you back with open arms.
And just to touch upon that, it's not just books and programs, it's also services. We have passport services, which we will be talking about in the next coming episodes.
We have a library of things that includes
a lot of stuff people don't know about.
Yes, such stuff as bongo drums, hotspots, metal detectors. So many items can be
can
checked
check
out
out.
from the
Yeah.
Library of Things. And again, we'll address that in
Wait.
a coming.
Somebody, wait, I got to step this
You
one
want
back a
bongo
second
drums,
here.
Leah?
I did.
I sensed
it was
that.
a whole McConaughey thing. It just kind of like got into my head. But I didn't realize also that there are things, in my mind and equating it with my kids, it was a case of, okay, we could rent videos and we could rent movies out there. And quite often, to be honest with you, if folks are wanting to do the radio shopping show and we'll say you don't have a computer, there's access. There's internet access at every local library. There's hotspots over there. So that's another way that you can actually use the services that they offer. But I didn't know you could actually check out. I'm thinking, for some reason, my head's like an A to Z rental kind of thing, what I mean? But it's because I didn't think there was that many things. So you said there's like metal detectors and things like that people can check out?
Guitars, acoustic guitar.
You can check out hotspots too.
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
There's so many things. You gotta go on the website and see all
It's
the.
a wealth of information.
It is.
Well,
that.
you know what I like too, though, about guitars and things like that? I think every little kid always grows up wanting to play a guitar. And before you invest in a guitar, why not consider your local library, especially the Gail Borden Library, as a resource to check it out and see, you know what? Sometimes that gets boring after about a week. See if they're really seriously
Gonna stick with it, right? Yeah, that's a good plan.
Now, we've been talking about what's happening in the month of May. Sadi, if you don't mind, I'm going to bring this up to you because we had initially spoke, and there were many programs that you've had up until now, and I don't know how many exactly, that focused on a specific area of the world. And were intended to kind of inform people of the language, the food, the background, the history. Does that still hanging on to the library? Because I know you've got it up with the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month right now.
Yeah, thanks, Leah, for bringing that up. I did start a Global Neighbors program series. This was before COVID. This is to help educate, because we are such a diverse community here that it's so nice to be able to know about the different cultures. So we had like 5 or 6 programs already about different countries. We had Germany, Poland,
Puerto Rico.
Laos, Puerto Rico, Pakistan, India. And I am hoping to get that back on again. I'm planning one on Greece and one on, actually I got a contact for Philippines.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a great way to learn. We have a presentation in the program that's 15, 20 minutes, and we do like an entertainment portion, which will show you some dances and music from the country. And then we follow up with food tasting, the best. Everyone,
So
many better than
any
this.
Greek restaurants out there, you
Yes.
better come to the table if you want to be able to focus on your food.
Yes.
Call Sadia.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great. It's great for the local businesses to get free promotions for them. So, yeah. So stay tuned.
And I think you lean toward it real quickly there, that you're right. We're such a melting pot of different ethnicities and backgrounds, and sometimes to appreciate maybe your neighbor, not realizing the history of where they're from. I love that, you know, even sampling the food, you know, which is why with that spring roll thing they have coming up, I can see how that's going to be ranking in some traffic for you. One thing other that we had mentioned is we leaned into the trivia, and I know we were going through some of the organizations. The trivia, does that event, because trivia usually seems to be like, is it something that is a once in a while feature? Is that something that happens once a month? Tell me how that works.
We actually have not had a trivia, and maybe a while back, but that I don't remember. So this is coming up new for us. And, you know, if there's interest, we always want feedback. So if anyone wants to, you know, give us feedback on what they would like to have as a library program, we are welcome to it.
Absolutely.
So please let us know if there's anything in particular you'd like to have more programs on. We are more than happy to look into it and provide that for
And
you.
the fun thing is, if anybody remembers from, I think it was maybe about 5-6 years ago, I'm sure they still have it at some restaurants or bars, but it's just this little unit that you play with. And it's not, sometimes when you go to a trivia, you write your answers on, they come around and grab all your answers, and it gets really tedious. And this is one where you actually have an electronic device that when they ask the trivia question, and again, it's going to be hosted by Jerry Turnquist, when they ask the question, you plug in what your answer is, and then you get to see everything. If I remember correctly, it's all up on a big board, so you can, and the competition, because you know everybody gets a little competitive.
Oh, for sure.
So if you think that you know history, is it Elgin history or history overall?
Elgin and the library history, yes.
So if you think you know everything you need to know about the Gale Borden Library, I'm going to tell you what, if that doesn't get you to the website to study, I don't know what does. But I'm just saying that if you think you know a lot about Elgin history and you want to challenge your fellow man, definitely come on down. And again, that's going to be on May 23rd. Is that right?
Yes, correct. That is correct.
Now, of all of the programs that you mentioned here, and again, coming over to Gale Borden Library, it's such a vast expanse setting, right? That when you have like your 150th anniversary event, it was wall-to-wall people. I mean, you had to have been, it obviously was voting day, but I think there was more people there I think the voters probably came in going, what's going on?
Exactly. Weren't there like 200 people in there or more?
Yeah,
at
it
that
was packed
event?
full. It was packed full. But I love to see how many parents were bringing their kids. And even going back, and I know that I think you have some of the pictures up on the website, going back and looking at the pictures and seeing the kids' activities and the participation that they had. I think you had a little time capsule that was there, or a ship or whatever, you know, little things like that that the kids got to play with and, you know, say happy anniversary.
I think that the following week they had something especially for kids, and they had crafts and yes, they did.
But all of that is to honor the 150th anniversary of the Gale Borden Library. And we have got, again, Miss Sadia and Miss Sarah joining us in the studio today. Is there other events that we want to talk about before I just do a little recap here? Because I am interested, like I always check my boxes as to what my calendar. I love the Awakenings. And again, that's the healing power of creativity. That is going to be on this week, Friday. That's the 17th. And again, from 3:30 to 5. And Sadia, let's start it off with you quickly. Let's finish. Let's keep it over to Sarah. The Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. You've got the Betrayal. Tell me a little bit about that once again for those of you who might be joining it. And we'll do a couple of these recaps throughout the show each week because we remember that people are always tuning in.
Coming and going, right? So The Betrayal, Nara Kun, is an Oscar-nominated film. It's one of the ways that we're commemorating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month in May. It will be this Thursday, May 16th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the Meadows Community Rooms of the main library. And what it's about, it centers on a family's flight from Laos after the U.S. secret war in Laos and the difficulty of assimilating into American life. So it's going to be a powerful and engaging story, and it comes to us from our friends at the Multicultural Education Group here in Elgin.
And we actually did a Global Neighbors program on Laos, too.
That's right. Yeah, that was one of your offerings.
So were they, because I didn't, maybe you said the secret war. I didn't know that there was a war there.
Secret.
That's
the
what I
US
mean.
Civil War.
Right. But
That's the secret part.
did that come up when we did the feature on Laos, or did that stay quiet?
No, I don't think that came up.
Yeah.
It was not brought up.
So it's interesting. It just goes to show that there's so many more stories out there that you're never aware of that are occurring. That is the need for programs like this or storytellers like this. Even like with Kevin O'Connor, there's things that are out there and lives that are being led that you just don't know the challenges that people have.
And I know I'm such a curious person, and I think we all are here, and our audiences as well. And you want to learn new things. I love to learn something new every day if I can.
I think there's nothing that brings people closer together than learning about each other. And the more you learn, and you get those connections.
Yeah, everybody's different culture, and we all have different life story, open books,
Right.
Sharing our stories, but it's a way to find common ground and to unite us and bring us all together.
Now, then after that, we do have the spring roll, which I know is filling up if it's not already full, so keep that in mind. Again, some of these programs, have you ever had a program, I'm curious about this, have you ever had a program that you think, well, let's see if we get interest, and you are bombarded with an overflow of interest and then realize, okay, we could have probably split this up into 2 programs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Are there some surprises, ones that you put out there that you thought, this just surprised me, I did not expect to see this kind of turnout?
I'm trying to think of this. Actually, you know what? There was a virtual one that I was just shocked because we did a virtual a chair yoga program. Tai Chi, sorry, yoga
Tai
chair.
Chi, yes. In the
And
chair.
it was virtual. At that day, we only had maybe about under 20 people who were watching, but then we put it on our recorded programs channel, so the people who couldn't watch. We have over 500 people who've already viewed that program.
Yes.
Holy
That
cats.
just
And who would
blew
have
me
thought
away.
that would
Yes.
happen? But I watched it, and it was
So
fantastic.
I think it's great that we're able to record some of these. We can't record all, but the ones we do, people do take advantage, and
Yeah.
we hope more people will.
Absolutely. And Sarah, I know you do some of the recording there, is that right?
I do. Yeah, I have a handy dandy little iPad that I set up on a tripod, and it's not professional quality, but it usually looks pretty good. And then I edit it together, and then our PR team puts it up on our YouTube channel.
And I think that's the key thing is that nowadays, life has changed. It used to be that if I use the example of when I was a kid, if my family was going to be going on vacation, you went no matter what. If you had a rainy day that happened to be on that day, you went even if it rained, right?
True, yeah.
But we live right now, our society lives in let's wait till the last minute. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. And so having things in a podcast format or on your website for people to view afterwards, it's also a reminder in case they missed it, because we all live busy lives. And it's also just a tool that you can watch at your leisure. So it's always important and neat that when you can have that available too. So I know the Gail Borton Library does that quite a bit.
We do, and that really became a big thing during COVID, obviously, when we couldn't be in person. And then people kind of got used to the idea of being able to put something on, go visit the art museum in New York by video, and it was pretty cool.
All right. So again, this has been Open Book. And I tell you what, I feel like these hours go so fast. You start talking and we start mentioning out some of the events and activities that are coming up. Now, I know our next event's going to be next week, Monday. And again, you can tune in every Monday from 1 until 2 p.m. Here every Monday with the Open Book. And next week on the 20th, what can we expect? What are you looking to have on the 20th?
So on the 20th, we are going to get into more of our 150th celebration coming up on June 8th. And then also we are going to talk about our summer reading kickoff.
Again, all right. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. And I do want to say thanks to KCT Credit Union. You can join KCT Credit Union where they're more than just a bank. They're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning profits go back to you in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. Become a part of KCT where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit KCT Credit Union or KCTCU.org. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining us today.
Happy 75 to WRMN.
There we go. Welcome back. It's WRMN.
Since 1949, we are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time, 2 o'clock.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Prevnar. Abigail, a remarkable 17.